Hi, everyone. I'm so glad that you are here. This is the Strive Life Summit. And what else you would be looking for than finally breaking through, thriving in your life? Now, this was a big one for me. I was struggling for 34 years, and I'll tell about that as well. But the title of this presentation is From Unconsciousness to Life on Your Terms. Obviously, this is a gradual process, but I would love you to take big steps toward the life that you want to live. I will speak through. I had two major issues in the last few days. I just want you to know that I'm a human being as well, and I stuff things up. One was I was working with a wood chipping machine, and something went into my eyes. So I've been struggling with a bloodshot eye for a few days. And and also I had issues with the presentation slides. So I'm presenting for you on camera. I'm so excited because now I have to explain everything so much better. So here's the thing. Um, I believe the first steps for you to thrive, and we'll define what thriving means to you. But for some people, it is maybe working 4 days a week, or working 3 days a week, or reducing the hours that you're spending in your business, or having a monthly or 3 monthly getaway with your wife or with your partner, who is then uh, enjoying more time with you. And my goal is to accelerate you and your awareness. Because, see, the real cost of living a limited life is playing small and not having what you want, or little of it. And I think when you start to play small and you're not thriving, then you could be like I did. You could be ruining relationships. In my case, my marriage almost collapsed. I'll talk about that a bit later. But what happens is your focus is scattered and you're not getting results that you're looking for. Now, I believe compromises can be heavy at times. So I want you to keep moving towards the life that you want, and focus your energy and focus your creativity and to receive what you really want. Because I believe there's two things to get new results for you. One is mindset, and the other one, strategies that work. Before you get there, and I will help you with a few exercises today after introducing myself, and then I'll let you in for a peek experience of how or what I do to transform lives. I'm known as the Doctor of Self-Worth, and I'm challenging you today really about, have you even take a deep breath in now? Have you wondered what thriving means to you? Really stop now and define. How would you know that you are thriving in life? Take a few notes now. I hope you have a paper and a pen, because unless you have clarity about where you're going, you will not make much progress. And I'm talking from experience because I've been stuck for decades. Uh, the other thing I wanted to share with you is your current results, no matter how bad or how good they are a reflection, as I said before, of your mindset and the strategies that you are applying. And if you have less than optimal results, probably that's why you are here. There's ways to shift both of it. And the way I always look at it is, you need to unlock a new version of you, and you deserve that new version who is effortless, who's able to create and attract opportunities, money, maybe relationships if you need, to really enjoy your life. And 2025 should be the year when you are making serious progress. So here is a small background about me, so at least you know who you are meeting with. I had a very dysfunctional childhood or a relationship with my dad. I never felt good enough. He was highly critical. At home, life was walking on eggshells, and he flared up because I wasn't doing things right or I didn't know I should do things. And my whole childhood was trying to impress him or win his love. It was a losing battle. And I was trying to prove myself at home. Everywhere I had the best grades in school. I started running marathons. My father didn't care about it. Then I won the national championships in basketball at age 13. And later on, I went ice climbing. Never had a congratulation or a well done from him. These words were missing from my grandfather and my father's vocabulary. At one point, I realized that they don't know how to love. Probably they don't love themselves. Now, how would I expect them to love me? So that's where I started from. And I was so disconnected from myself. I could not deal. I was hating myself because I was hating my dad because I could not sort this out with him. And I ended up working in banking for 5 years, but I knew I need to find answers. Like I was so shy, I couldn't speak in front of people. Life was a struggle. Insecurities, always comparing myself to others. There was a lot of self-worth issues I was dealing with. And when I moved to New Zealand, which is a very far geographical point from Hungary, right across the globe, I went into discovery mode. I wanted to solve this issue that I knew it's something to do with my father. And I tried everything under the sun. I tried moving countries and I traveled another 70 countries looking for spiritual gurus to tell me what's wrong with me, why my life is not satisfactory, why I can't enjoy myself, why I'm not feeling good about myself, why I can't find my calling. I tried corporate career. I was doing sports to feel much more worthy. And I went spiritual for a few years to avoid it all. And I remember in New Zealand, I decided that, okay, I will work 9 months, and for 3 months, I'll be traveling. And I went into personal development. Everything under the sun, I went. The Anthony Robbins events and John DeMartini, Brian Tracy. I paid thousands and thousands of dollars. It cost me $100,000, can you believe, to get no results. Maybe I wasn't committed. Maybe it wasn't the right time, but nothing has worked. I was working in network marketing, trading and investing, and I was losing money because I had these beliefs that I'm not good enough. There is not enough time and money. And eventually I thought if I get married, then I feel really good about myself and I solve all my issues. Now, of course, that didn't work. And by the time we were living in Australia, because I kept moving, hoping that the answers are outside and I need to go to new places. And even, and watch this, even massive action did not help me because I didn't stop. Like I knew I need to solve this. And unfortunately, 7 years ago, when I was living in Australia, I'm working hard again, 60, 65 hours a week. That was a family pattern in my tradition and in my family that man needs to work hard. And I did that. And I launched a side hustle, a side business at home to break out of the job. And while I was working 3, 4 hours at home and 60, 65 hours in my to pay the bills, that was the employment, I had become disconnected from my children and my wife to the point that I remember that week I almost had two accidents because I was driving at night. I remember my son asked me, I was 8 years old at the time, he asked me, when are you going to play with me, Dad? I couldn't even say anything because I was just getting home, sliding into my chair to work in my home business to make the money for us to break free. And the next morning, no, actually, we had a bit of connection time with my children that night. And I was telling bedside stories before they went to sleep. And again that night, it has become a slapping competition. I allowed my children to slap me in the face when I was falling asleep and I couldn't actually, read the story. And usually I just crumpled on the floor and my wife was shaking me up the next morning to go to work. But this morning was different. She was so unhappy. I could see on her face. And she asked me, is it time for us to divorce? Ah, ouch. I thought now my life is over. And my health was deteriorating from the job, my shoulders. I was about to lose my children. I was about to lose my wife. And I realized I, I've done a full circle. I have recreated my dad's unsuccessful life, who's been struggling on his life with his own insecurities, anger. He had this know-it-all attitude, and I have become that person. It was so, so painful. And there was one decision I made at that point. I said, well, something must change. The $100,000 didn't work, and everything I tried, I said to myself, okay, I give up all my gigantic goals, which was pursuing money and properties and getting better cars. And I decided that there's one single last goal in my life. And that was about thriving, about feeling good about myself, about doing something meaningful and be able to maybe find my calling and maybe even make money through it. I did not believe in myself. What happened within about 3 or 4 months? Remember, when life is starting to crush you, there's so much pressure. I think it brings 100% commitment. And within a few months, I have met a mindset specialist, a mindset coach, and working with him for the next 6 to 12 months has completely shifted my identity or who I thought myself to be. Also, I found my center, my power. And I realized there was nothing wrong with me. Uh, Probably my dad and my grandfather has been very discouraging, or they felt, lack of connection. Probably they lost connection with themselves. And I was just a sort of a victim in that scenario. And I started to give myself up early on in life. I've lost my true self. Now, with my transformation, I started to realize that there must be millions, probably hundreds of millions out there who need to realize that there is nothing wrong with them. They need to find their authentic self and really set up a playground in life to unlock probably working less, doing more of what they love, and achieve results in all areas of life. And I started to help people as much as I could. Now, that was 6 years ago, and I've been working with people all around the globe because they get to see me online, and I'm able to shift their mind rapidly as the doctor of self-worth. And what I really love is the feedbacks that are coming back to me daily and regularly, how their life is changing and seemingly impossible things start to happen in their life. Now that gives me the biggest joy. So I don't want you to spend 30 years. And I want to have you an experience to shortcut your transformations. So maybe it would be 6 to 12 months, but at least have the right foot to start with, which I didn't have. I needed a mentor. I needed someone like me. And there was no one for me uh, until I was 42 years old. So here's the thing. I will jump into my content, but just for you to understand, since then, I have been traveling around with my children around Australia and Southeast Asia. I have been a father I've always wanted to be. Uh, we were homeschooling our children for the last 5 or 6 years. Last year, we decided to travel around Europe and find a new place to live. So now I am logging on from Europe, and my wife's been happy. We are a happy family, and I'm present for my children. And I'm hoping that I've healed this transformational traumatic pattern of not being good enough or not knowing how to love. I see myself as a transformational person in my bloodline because I said no more. And that would help you if you have that frustration. If you had enough of your old self, we could use that. We could use that to shift you to the new version of yourself. Now, I'm going to help you with that, of course, and I brought you a few exercises as well. I will have some worksheets, but before that, I want to jump into a bit of a theory and why and how you kind of get stuck in mom or dad's patterns. Now, what if you were born with a wonderful and powerful mind, but this mind has been recording pretty much everything in your environment from the day you were born and probably even from before, from mom's stomach. And what has been right driving this machine, this beautiful human mind, is to keep you alive. Now, what does this mean in evolutionary terms? I want you to understand how this mind is trying to support you. It's designed to keep you safe, keep you fed and loved and clothed, and it would do anything to meet those needs. Now imagine if you were not brought up in the most encouraging, most zen environment, and you had to do certain things, give yourself up, or being very nice, or lenient, or even lie, then you have picked up patterns, and these could be a variation of any one of them. For example, we're talking about beliefs here. Emotions. I met a lot of people who picked up mom's frustration or dad's sadness. Values. Values are what you focus on. Stories that you have been telling to yourself. You don't even remember where they're coming from. Experiences. And as you evolved as a human being, up to that age 10, 14, everything was recorded by this mind as the blueprint for life. Now, what's the problem? I get to meet people who are still working from that blueprint and their life is not thriving at all. They are not making progress. And it's because this mind is reluctant to change. It does not like upgrades. So it's stuck in time, and it also brings attitudes. Now, the problem is it doesn't like change. It doesn't like new ideas. It's holding on to the old pattern of survival, because think of it like this. Survival from the point of evolution is the highest, because then you can reproduce and the species will survive. But in the modern day terms, it's quite irrelevant, because normally people I come across, they are not dealing with life and death situations daily. The challenges and how you are might be responding to things to this mind is black and white. And the black and white means it has specific answers and they are usually repeating the old ones. Now, with that old map, people usually arrive to the old destinations or the old results. And this is how people end up in looping and repeating results, and they become more and more frustrating. That was me too. Now, the idea is this: if you hang on to your old programming, you will always reproduce the old results. And the challenge is this, and that's what I'm going to help you do today. If we can change these old ideas, these old emotions, these old patterns of thinking or pathways, because you deserve a new mind, let's say an empowered mind, who's cheering you on. But to understand how this mind works is, imagine if you have, and you have a set of beliefs. Let me just demonstrate this. I have a demonstration class for you. So if you have been carrying, I'm not good enough. It's a very typical belief, because the school system is usually installing, you know, when you had that 85%, the 95%, they were asking you, why is it not 100? Where did you make mistakes? Now, if you have those beliefs and maybe you've come across a few unlucky events, then you have multiple filters in front of your five senses. And the problem is this with this mind. This mind is very limited as far as processing capacity. It can only take less than 1% of what's going on around you anytime. And if you're carrying these filters front of your senses, that means this mind through the five senses is only looking for evidence for you. Have you ever seen someone who had this negative mindset? Like, how could they then attract crap, problems after problems? They're looking for it. That's what they are focused on. They don't know, they don't realize it, that they are creating it, but 99% of what's going on around you, even now, you're missing out on. Your mind is, let's say, disregarding it. Now, why is it doing that? Because there's too much information. Probably take a deep breath in. Probably you are not concentrating on, if you're sitting or if you're standing, you are not putting your attention on how the seat is touching your back or your bum. Or you haven't thought about focusing on the noises outside the room or outside the house, right? But as I'm helping you put your attention on these things, now you're expanding your awareness. Now, this is how you are, the way you're focusing on, you eliminating most other things. Now, why do we do this? Again, it's a survival mechanism. Imagine you going out the street and there are dangerous things, you know, trucks and vehicles. You better be present, because you could be flat as a pancake if you're not paying attention to what's going on. So you're being always selective with what you are seeing, what you are focusing on, and what you're hearing, and using all the five senses. Okay? But your results are really telling you what you are creating or what you're looking for. Now, this is a big challenge, isn't it? Especially if your mind is not serving you as good as it could. Because if your mind has that blueprint with a lot of limitations, then your life will become a reflection. And what we would need to do is completely change how you process, how you focus, and how you create results. So the breakthrough, I believe, that most people need is to understand that your mind is usually the problem. Usually it's a limited identity, beliefs around yourself, beliefs around what's possible for you is the issue. And I'm excited to present this today because it has been the story of my life. I've been stuck for 34 years. Most of my life I was in a loop. And my idea today is giving you an experience and a small exercise, a set of exercises to uncover something that you may not have realized about yourself. Now, how are we going to do that? It's awareness. Most people I come across, they are focusing on solving a false symptom. They are not really understanding how they create the lack of results, how they create their problems. Now, if a problem is well stated, you are at 50% of solving it. Now, that's what I want to help you with today. And these exercises are exactly the steps that I do with my clients. So follow them, take another deep breath in, and let's get going. I will have questions to you. Probably I will give you 30 seconds. And what I'll do is I'll give you a bit of time to get those answers out of you. So let's get specific. What is the problem? Or let's say, what is the biggest challenge or problem that you are dealing with? Start the timer. Just pick one, the biggest one. And it could be coming from, usually there are three big areas of life: health, wealth, money or business career, and or relationships. And sometimes there are challenges on all of them. So take a note, write it down. And when you're ready, I have the next question for you, but you have them on a sheet so you can go look at them, and I'll make these available. So the second one is, how is it a problem? Starting 30 seconds. Ask yourself, how is this impacting your life? Are you're not getting what you want? Are you stuck in certain things? Are you not heard or seen? They don't see your value, or is it impacting your relationships? Take good notes here. The next question is a big one. What are you telling yourself about it? Like, what are the recurring thought patterns? Like, how do you explain this problem? Now, it will reveal a lot. Spend another 30 seconds and write down the stories. How do you explain this challenge, this issue that you have? Now, most importantly, my next question is, what emotions are you indulging in as you are going back and focusing on those stories that you're telling yourself and this problem? What is it causing? Take a note and I didn't identify that emotion if you can. Is it frustration? Or are you angry? It could be sadness, could be guilt or fear. Write it down. When you're done, next question. Why must you change it now? Like, why do you need to change this? Like, get some leverage on your mind. Really asking for help for your mind to change and really push you through this so you'll get new results. Why must you change it now? Remember, it's the beginning of the year. There's no better time than now. Probably it would have been better 2 years ago, but now we only have the now. Next question. And you can stop this. If you didn't have time to answer, just stop the recording and you'll be able to do the answer properly, because the transformation is doing it properly. So the next one is, how long has it been a problem? How long? How many years has this been a challenge, a problem for you? Think back as far as you need to. The answers usually years, decades, when I ask this question for most of my clients. 70–80% of them have been carrying them from early age. Now, the next question is, who was involved? Usually there was someone in your environment, a person, and the patterns at the root is usually to do with someone you had in your life. Could be mom, dad, or another authority figure. Have you got it? Well done. Now, the most important question, and this is your breakthrough coming, is what do you gain by having this problem, this issue in your life? Yes, you heard it right. What is the secondary gain? Let me share a few examples. I was playing small. I felt not good enough. By doing that, I didn't have to stand up and be criticized, because I believed that was scary and I was fearful of actually being vulnerable and try something that might fail. Remember, I was criticized when I was younger from my dad. So it was a coping mechanism for me to just staying under the radar, playing small, and then I would just get by. Now, getting by and thriving, it's massively different. The standard of living, the level of joy and satisfaction is so far away. I met people who couldn't start a business because they never felt ready. Now I realized that no one else had a business in their family. And they perceive, the mind perceived that it's unsafe because they could lose their family's love. It's a bit of tribal thinking. Is this, I need to fit in. I need to be able to have a connection and not be rejected. There's all kinds of things going on. Now, if you found this out, this secondary gain, the need, then remember your mind for now or up to this point has been using looping you around in the same problems to satisfy that need. At times it's safety, as I said. It could be love and connection, even power. Sometimes, yes, suppressing others, so being an angry person, it's a pretty good way to control the environment. That really works. But you could be ruining relationships. So on a default, and I'm saying this default is autopilot, you will be operating on that level. Unless, which we are doing now, we shining a light on this unconscious pattern and say, and this is the next question, the last one. How could you have that need met in another way? Like, remember, I was playing small to feel safe, to not be criticized. Now, what if safety is in the thriving? What if safety is abundance? Having an amazing community, have the best relationship in your life, whether you are a parent or not, and have a winning team around you. Like, that's the real safety, I believe, is to give meaningful things to others and have a balance of giving and receiving. Is that not what you're looking for? Welcome in 2025, Thrive Life Summit. Okay. So you want to ask yourself, and if you want to, you could as well put your hand on your heart and say, I deserve more. Yeah, follow me. I deserve more. Take a deep breath in. I deserve more. I deserve abundance. I deserve amazing relationships. I deserve money and health. How does that feel? But the biggest obstacle for most people is that they are not in the right environment. They are not in an environment where they are able to take on the beliefs that they need to live the life that they want. Now, this summit is the environment you want to be in. But I want to push you, and I hope you're ready for that. I want to challenge you and push you to be able to find new communities, if you need to, where there are people who are living the life that you want to live. And you might need to pay, you might need to allocate time and resources to plug yourself into those communities. Because you're always taking on beliefs from the environment. Now, you choose the environment. You can choose the environment. It will be uncomfortable at times to start networking, to look for people who are prime examples of the life you want to live. So let's get creative and expand yourself so you'll be able to see these people around you who are amazing, and you can adopt how they think, their beliefs, their attitudes. Like, this is the key. If you didn't bring it from home, you need to get them from somewhere, a new mindset. Now, I want to give you the Thrive structure that works. And this is, by the way, it's in my book, How to Discover Your Authentic Self Faster Than You Ever Thought Possible. You'll be able to find it on my website. We'll talk about that at the end. But I collected 6 points so you could put yourself in a structure that is giving you a thriving experience. Now, thriving and striving has, I believe, in this new word, and I think the word has changed a lot. So number one, I believe, is short education. Really look at the old school system today. People are studying long years. By the time they finish school, most of the things they learn is out of date. So I believe in short courses that has practical parts where you are applying straight away what you've learned. So short education. The second one, and I wanted to say that as well, short education that works, that gets results for other people, and that has proven to be working. Okay. The second one is look at building a network. Now, what does that mean? I just said it before. If you're building a business, even if you're building a career, I believe you need to have good, wonderful contacts who are helping you, you are helping them. And if you build a wonderful community around you, then you will be able to help, give and receive. And if you have that attitude, you will get results so much faster. So always network, always look for new contacts, especially in your area or in your expertise. If you want to go fast, the third one is coach and a mentor. Now, why am I saying this? Remember, I was talking about the mind, how you are oblivious to 99% that's happening around you. And if you're walking around with, remember, blinders in front of your eyes, you're filtering out abundance, you're filtering out opportunities. You need to get someone to shake you up and tell you that, hey, have you thought about this? Why are you shutting the door on opportunities? Remember, it's all to do with the belief that you've been carrying. But the fastest way, I believe, like I did, is seeking one-on-one help. Even if it's once a month, that the speed and the acceleration of your results and growth is parabolic. Mastermind group, number 4. Mastermind group means is people who are doing a similar breakout, who are doing a similar jump into the next level in their lives, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, it could be business or career. You want to be around them because they are forward thinking and they are obviously taking action, and that keeps you on your toes. And maybe there's a bit of accountability is happening as well. But definitely a mastermind group will help you, and they may even increase your convincer because you will see results there. Number 5 is morning ritual. Morning ritual means if you keep living from your yesterdays, you repeat yesterdays and you be repeating the results as well. So a proper morning ritual, and reach out to me if you need help about that, is to reset and reconnect the new version of you every day. So not having your days on autopilot. It is about living and breathing and showing up from the new version of you, who you are becoming. That's the morning ritual for. And number 6 is a quarterly recharge or retreat, where you are able to have a rest. Probably it requires nature and fresh air or ocean, and where you can rest for 3 or 4 days and you can reset new goals. The new goals that, again, you could go ballistic about for the next 90 days, because you want to have these quarterly recharges, retreats every 90 or 120 days, the worst. Okay, this is the structure. I'll give you a worksheet so you'll be able to pinch that list. But just to sum it up, short education based on results, building a network. Remember, it's team sport, especially business. I was the lone wolf and I was struggling for years. I'll work it out. That was my attitude. I didn't work out. I didn't even work out my mindset for 34 years. Coach and mentor, mastermind group, morning ritual, and a quarterly recharge and retreat, where you, again, renew your commitment to the new goals and then get going for it. Now, how does that sound? I hope you have taken note. As I said, I'll make this available for you, but I wanted to okay. I want you to understand what happens when one is put into this structure and transformations start to happen. And that transformation usually starts from unconsciousness, I call it. That's the first phase most of the time. And what does this mean? The one we talked about a lot is when you're feeling wounded, triggered emotionally, not feeling good enough, feeling unlucky, the world is against me, haven't got enough time, haven't got enough money, I'm not allowed, they won't like me, I can't do it. Shall I go on? My wants don't matter, too difficult. This is the stories, the limiting ideas and beliefs that are holding you hostage. Where life is difficult, okay? That is stage 1. Now, the second stage, which I help people get to, is I call best version. The best version is you without the limiting ideas, the limiting thoughts and beliefs from the past. It's literally you without the past limitation that you've been carrying. It's you without the baggage, usually say, how it's explained. And that's the place where you start to flow. You're able to function better. You're more present. You're able to get excited about challenges and taking on new things. You developing this growth mindset where you don't take criticism so personally anymore. You are really absorbing things and look at how you could do things differently. You're less reliant on external structures at that point. Like, you start to grow out of your post or position or job or career, and you start to do your own things. Like there's this new space opening up where you will see what you love to do. You have more creativity, and you start to create a life that you enjoy. Now, usually, the third one, which I call mission or your life purpose, comes up nice and slow, where you find your why. You realize why you are here and how you could contribute. But most importantly, it's about turning that calling into some type of a commercial enterprise. unless you are a millionaire and you don't need to earn money. I think ideally you will need to pay bills for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So you want to lock in the way you could put it into a product or service, whatever you do, and you are excited about. And abundance is then unlocked, because my mentor usually says that there's a red ocean out there. The red ocean is where people are competing. There's not enough attitude. Now, I say that the other attitude is professionals create. Professionals are creative. Professionals come up with solutions that we haven't seen before. My brand came out of nowhere, or let's say came out of this 3-stage transformation. And that is the mission phase. I'm living this brand name pretty much. And this is the easiest thing to do. This is my natural unfolding every day. And you will get there, I'm pretty sure. And this is the key here. At this third stage, you will have your unconscious mind supporting your conscious goals. Finally, you are not pulled away. You know the two monkeys, when one voice tells you that you can't do this, and the other one says go for it, and you're stuck in the middle. Now, the third stage is easier, because you have the true voice, nice and loud inside. Now, I've got a bonus for you, and you will get that list from me. But this is the 5 requisites that I help people use in working with me to create rapid transformations. Now, number 1 is removing, or let's say releasing, negative emotions. And some of them are so sticky that you might not even realize that you are, I call them a dwelling place. Most people go back to a dwelling place each day, whether it's despair, sometimes depression or hopelessness, whatever it is. And then they are on a roller coaster ride, and there is big ups and downs. But I believe if you're able to disconnect the valleys or the negative emotions that you carry, then you'll be more balanced, you're more harmonized to what's happening, and you have a higher emotional resilience. Okay, because remember, like attracts like. To if you keep bathing your body in negative emotions, by the way, it's toxic, so sooner or later, unfortunately, you will be sick. But most importantly, you will attract more of what you already emitting. Now that's serious, because you will get reflections. The second one is doing away or releasing limiting decisions or beliefs. The idea is to, let go of the unworthiness that you might have. Letting go of, well, I don't have a chance, or I'm not smart enough, or it's too hard. It's a belief. It's a belief. I've seen amazing examples how people have been able to achieve things that seem completely impossible. They didn't have legs or limbs, and they are now mastering a skill that even others can't do. The third one is what I just talked about for you, is that when you have the devil sitting on your shoulder. I call this when we are integrating you. Integrating you means that you sort of let go of these voices that are at times against you. They might be in your head, might be at a feeling level. and then they shut up finally. And that's a big one, because silence is amazing. So at least you can follow your bliss, follow what you want and your own plan. But then you need to make new friends. And ideally, that space in your head, that mindset is the best place to start. The fourth one is defining and focusing on what you want. This is key, because remember, you always attract and create what you are focusing on. Massive thing. And the last one is committing. Remember my story? 34 years, I have probably not been 100% committed. It's really letting go of plan B. Plan B. The way it happened for me is at that point when my wife was asking me about the divorce, I said to myself, okay, there's only one plan from now on. I will work this out. I resolve these limiting ideas and patterns, this unworthiness, and or I drop that trying to do it. So what I had seen in my mind was me dropping that at 70, 80, or 19-year-old, and I seen a picture of my tomb inscribed, he was trying until he dropped that, and he was still unworthy. That was my only option. Now, interesting that I was able to shift and find true health that worked within 6 to 12 months. I had one single plan for the rest of my life. Very powerful. Your mind is very powerful if you use it and you put leverage on that mind. The biggest one for you is, and take a deep breath in. Are you able to ask for help? I did not ask for help for decades. Yes, you are. You can. And I say you must. You have professionals in this wonderful summit. Reach out to them, have a free experience. I don't know, read their books and commit to the process, the one that resonates with you. There's a few testimonials that I will share with you as a side note as well. There's Christopher Island from Australia. He said, Endre is like a plumber for the mind. He unblocks pathways that lie dormant, helps free the mind for innovation. He sees people in their potential and thrives in restoring it. I found his process simultaneously intense, exciting, and profound. Evelyn Clark from the Gold Coast, Australia. She says, I was almost shocked how clearly he saw through my barriers, beliefs, and blocks. It was like looking into a mirror, and the mirror talked back to me. What I thought my issue was not my true issue. And I was able to take me on a journey of peeling back the outer layers, going straight to the deeper issue that was the root cause of so many bad decisions, fears, and issues throughout my life. There's a few more. You will find them. Have you got any questions? Because we're getting to the end of this presentation, and I want you to be able to connect with me. Probably you'll find my contact details on the website at the summit info. But should you need to connect with me, just use Endre, ENDRE, at doctorofselfworth.com. Just shoot me an email and we will be in touch. Or you might as well visit my website, doctorofselfworth.com. Very easy, DOCTOR of selfworth.com. Now, what I have for you before we go is I have a gift. And the gift is, you can find it on my website, you will find it. It's get your SH asterisk T, get your shit together in 6 easy steps. So you get to strive and thrive in 2025 because you deserve it. The VIP gift is exactly 5. It's limited to 5 rapid breakthrough sessions on your current biggest challenge. And that will be 90 minutes. They're usually priced at $3.99. And I will have 2 prize giveaways. That is a secret. So keep your eyes open and you will see what else is coming that you will be able to grab through the prizes. Well, thanks very much. It was great to have some time with you. Enjoy this beautiful summit. Take as much as you want and need, but remember, you must apply it. Maybe take less, but then straight away start applying. Because I've been over 250 personal development books and my life hasn't changed. Too much IQ. I needed a new experience of myself. And that's what I have received. Remember, hopefully I have the right shirt here. From being trapped by self-doubt to a new life of potential. See you soon.